Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. A video today from Financial Coffee Channel. Women in their 30s are living at home with mom and dad forever. Rent is out of control. Please subscribe them below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
I'm 30 and I still live at home with my parents.
No judgment to that, creator, because I get it. I understand. It's tough out here. And usually a lot of women are taking care of their parents and they want to spend more time with their parents as their parents are getting older. But I find it interesting that if a man were to do this, it's frowned upon. Whereas if it's a woman, it's not so frowned upon. Like, we don't care. I wonder why that is. Oh yeah, it's because we expect men to be the man in every situation. When sometimes that is the most manliest thing they can do, is take care of their parents as their parents are getting older.
I have a friend that does this. During the pandemic and stuff, he saved up a lot of money because of the extra money and stuff. And now he's taking care of both of his parents. His mother is somewhat dying and his father is just super out of it. So he's doing his best to try to take care of both of them, taking them to appointments and stuff. He can't even work a normal job, just how much requirement his parents need of care. And they can't afford, a regular caretaker. But I'm sure if women looked at him, they would see him as some kind of bum. But the man is taking care of his family. He literally confided in me the other day about he doesn't know what to do. He's like, he wants to get his life in order. He wants to pursue things, but he doesn't want to leave his parents alone. And he's like, should I just wait until they pass? And I'm telling you guys, some of these things are so hard for me to even fathom for even my friends. I wouldn't even know what to say.
But it's still frowned upon that they're at home, living at home still.
I live with my parents, and I love it. Correction, my boyfriend and I live with my parents.
What?
And we love it. Know that there are many people that are going to think I'm crazy for living with my parents, with my boyfriend. But it's the best decision we've ever made. I will say I was slightly nervous and concerned about what other people would think. Oh, you're living with your parents. I was always super hesitant to tell people until I hit a point where I was like, why is that weird?
It's, again, Asian culture, at least my family, it's a normal thing. No one ever cares. It's actually oh, you stay with your parents so you can save money, and then you guys pull your money together and they help take. When you live with your parents and you have kids, guess what? You have free babysitters.
Weird. We're one of the only cultures that just ship their kids off when they're 18. Bye, see you never. That's weird to me because from 0 to 18 years, you spend all of your time with your family, and then all of a sudden you spend no time with them. To me, that's just weird. And once again, I'm super close with my family. I love my family. They're awesome.
I can actually agree.
So it's kind of a no-brainer.
Points.
I really think we should normalize living with our parents. So with all that being said, I think we should normalize living with our parents for a little bit longer.
And I still live at home. What? For sure. Are you kidding me? My man and I, we attempted to move out. Yeah, that'll be $1,600 for a studio apartment, not including groceries, not including partying, not including living. Woo! I don't know where that voice came from, but that was probably the devil himself, because you're out of your mind if you think we're gonna pay that to go live in a little box. Get out of here. So now I'm staying at home, but the problem is I love my parents. They're amazing, but they still think I'm a kid because I'm here. But babe, does this afro look like it's made for a kid? This is a
It's just how immigrant parents is, I think. My dad still thinks I'm a kid.
grown woman thing we got going on. And bro, just like today, I told my dad, I'm like, oh, I might have some people over after. Oh my God, what's happening? Are you gonna clean the house? Are you gonna wash the dishes? No, I'm gonna invite everybody into my home and be like, look, this is how we live here. Welcome.
I'm 30 years old and I live with my parents. It's actually so embarrassing. I actually had my life more put together in my early 20s than I do now.
Did she have eyelash filters? Is that what that is when she did this? I was confused. Oh my God, it's filters.
But it's okay. It's okay because we're going to breathe through it. I'm trying to start my own business, so I don't even have a job. I'm so grateful.
I don't get this trying to start my own business without a job thing. Who does this? You need some kind of income to fuel the business, unless you have massive amounts of money to just throw at the business already. Where are people thinking this idea? I can start businesses with zero money and like zero education towards a business.
That my parents are there and they're helping out and everything, but it's hard, especially when you see people like having their own place at this age, and it's just like, man. And I'm single, but life has a funny way of working itself out, so I'm just going to let life do its thing and enjoy the ride.
Most women are broke.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be honest here. No matter what they say about why they moved back with their parents, they did it for one single reason. They broke. Yes, most women are broke, which is why they're always looking for the guy that makes six figures. Because really, really deep down, they know that the guy has to make six figures so that he can comfortably finance both her lifestyle and his lifestyle.
It is always the brokies that seem to always yell the six figures all the time.
I'ma just say this because ain't nobody else gonna say it. Black parents are the only people
who will
manipulate you on all the reasons as to why you need to live at home to save money, just to come back 2 months later and start charging you half the rent.
Oh, okay. If it's half the rent, then I can kind of see where you're getting at.
And when you disagree, now you broke, ungrateful, disrespectful, and you will never become anything in life because you don't listen.
And to the chick with the big afro screaming that she's a grown woman, I got news for you, baby. Grown women don't live at home with their parents. If you still live in your parents' home, you have to abide by their rules. It's that simple. If you don't like their rules, get your own place instead of complaining and screaming that you're a grown woman.
I don't think there's anything wrong with adults living with their parents.
Girl, I'm still living at home. This life is hard, it's expensive, and it's ghetto. I can't stand the way people try to make it seem like...
She says all this, but she wears a bonnet. Like, is this real Gucci bonnet? Like, what the fuck? If this is a real Gucci bonnet, I can't imagine how much this bonnet costs. If you would have maybe not bought something like this, you might be able to be okay with the finances. Just saying.
Like, oh, you're past your teenage years and you're still living at home? Yes, these jobs don't pay good enough to even afford a one bed, one bath. And that's not including every single other bill and tab you have to pay. We're basically paying to breathe at this point. A lot of these jobs want you to be educated, and then even when you are educated, they still pay you some amount. Even though some young people, some 20, 21-year-olds, even though some of them may be well off financially, that's literally not the case for most people that age. A lot of us are struggling and trying to still find our identities.
You say this, but yet you still expect men at that age to be put together, have careers, have businesses, making six figures already. It's impossible. This is why women date older. This is why older date younger. Because you ladies want it.
So if you think that we're going to be financially stable by the age of 20, you are absolutely ludicrous. Life doesn't get easier. You just learn how to understand things better.
Make it make sense. She doesn't think that there's anything wrong with adults living with their parents. As long as you're a female, they don't think that there's anything wrong with living with your parents. But let's reverse the genders.
Right.
Let's say you are a guy and you are still living with your parents. They will call you broke, dusty, a failure, and you have no future. You see the double standards? Women never give a chance to a man who still live with his parents.
Living at home is like...
It really makes a lot of sense that like single children that are for Asian parents, especially Asian parents, that would stay at home because you're a single man. Right? You stay at home, you help take care of the family, you're going to inherit the house, you're going to inherit everything. You might as well start raising your family there with your parents there to help raise the kids. That's just how I see it. It makes sense. But yes, the American culture is so different. Even me, I don't like living with my dad. Why? Because he's right. If you live under your parents' roof, you live under their rules. And I hate my dad's rules.
Like literally the most frustrating thing in the world, and like I feel so ungrateful for like the way that I'm feeling, because I know that I'm like lucky that at least I like have a home to go to after I like left my job. Like I'm really lucky, but at the same time, like it just contributes to like so much of like a loss in identity and like a loss in independence. Like someone is home all the time and I like don't have any privacy and like don't have like any like spaces to myself. Coming back to like your childhood bedroom that like is just so not the person you are anymore, and like having all of this like random, like it's not your space and it doesn't feel like your space anymore. Another tiny room that's like not mine and my stuff is everywhere. Not to mention like I don't see my friends anymore. Like I genuinely can't just go like grab a coffee with someone after work or like
Why can't you? I don't see why there's even an issue.
meet them for lunch. Like I'm just in a different town, like miles and miles away.
Oh, I see. Again, I guess maybe it's me. I don't really need to meet my friends for coffee and do all these things. Just put your head down and work and do what you need to do.
Don't even get me started on like the fact that you probably can't even date anyone because your parents are like all up in your business and like you've nowhere to like no space to bring them into. They feel so stupid for complaining.
Or it's, because you live with your parents, you can't just, hot girl summer it up the whole time and just have men constantly go in and out. That might be an issue for you. Yeah, I can see that.
About all of this because like people
Just
literally like are homeless and dying and like I'm complaining about being in my
I done had to move back home about 4 or 5 times. And if I gotta move back home 4 or 5 more, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not about to be out here robbing Peter to pay Paul. I'm gonna do what I could do, and then that's all I could do. And if doing what I could do, me moving back to my mama residence so I could stack my paper, so I could save up, so I could, set a budget and stick to that.
Again, nothing wrong with it, but 5, 6 times, girl? Maybe wait the whole time and then until you're fully ready and then go out there. Just sounds like a horrible time and just struggling the whole time, just going back and forth like that.
Budget, then baby, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't care if I'm 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Baby, my mama house paid for. She ain't paying no rent, okay? So if I gotta move back and stack my paper, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't care who talk about me. I don't know what we made up in our minds that just because you're an adult, you have to live on your... Man, have y'all seen this economy?
I noticed something about women. When they are doing something wrong and that they know that they are not supposed to do, they always have to record a video about it, post it on the internet, just to seek other people's validation and or approval. So she has the nerve to complain that her parents are at home all the time. Is their home? Where are they supposed to be? If you hate so much that they are home, go get your own damn place. And then she cries about not being independent anymore, not having any privacy. These women are always complaining about the rules their parents put on them, instead of simply be happy that they live rent-free and they are not homeless.
Do y'all want to know why I moved back home at the age of 30? Let me
explain.
So I'm 31 right now. I'm going to be 32 later this year. But about a year ago and some change, I moved back in with my parents for the second time. The first one being back in 2017. But I am grateful that I have a place to live for free. I don't pay rent or bills. I'm completely self-sufficient otherwise. How much?
Shut the fuck up. I don't pay bills or rent, but I'm self-sufficient otherwise.
My own car, I pay for my own groceries, etc., etc.
I had to move from LA into my sister's home in my small southern town in South Carolina. Not only did I lose a majority of what I felt like I worked so hard to get in LA, I was at rock bottom. Like, I legit thought that like my world was over. I was a failure. I was struggling with that same thing of like just feeling like I had no privacy. I was like exposed while I was trying to like heal and figure out my life. So I really gave myself the space to like grieve my independence.
Okay, sweetie, let me tell you something. Be lucky that you are not homeless. Jesus Christ. These females are so entitled and delusional. No, sweetheart, you are not self-sufficient if you still live with your parents.
I'm 30 and I still live at home.
That's where I can argue. There are people that are very self-sufficient that live with their parents. Why? Because, yeah, it saves money. They still make good money. And, yeah, they take care of their parents. So there is a little bit of nuances here and there. Just in the American culture, he is majority, right? Most people are not doing it because they want to live with their parents.
With my parents. I'm sure some of you will be turned off by this, or some of you may be able to relate. Obviously, like when I grew up, it was like you go to university, you get your degree, then you get a job straight away, and then you follow those steps like meet your partner, get a dog, get your house, have your kid, do all those things. But I've never been that person. Like I have never ever followed the steps. And I'm 30, but I spent the last 5 years of my life running a business, and I didn't really make any money out of it. And there's so much to go into
That's how
that.
businesses go.
That's the reality of kind of where my life is at right now. And you can say whatever you want.
You know what's another trippy thing? That women are brokies and poor, but they still have pets. So many people that can't even take care of themselves have cats and dogs. I'm not saying just throw your cat or dog away. I'm not saying that. But maybe rethink about your life of acquiring pets when you're barely struggling to take care of yourself. It's a lot of extra expenses.
Want, but that's the cards I've been dealt, so that's what I'm working with. And then I absolutely want my own place. I don't want to live with my parents forever. I'm super driven to get my own place, and my goal is to move out. Like I really want my own place, and I really want to decorate it. I just cannot afford to pay about like $3,000 in rent, plus utilities, plus gas, plus groceries, which is going to be what, like $5,000 at least a month.
That's a little bit outrageous. More like 4,000-ish or so, I would say.
Can we all agree that women are not able to face the same struggles that men do? All these women are complaining about not being able to find jobs despite having several college degrees, or about how life has become so expensive, or having to move back with their parents. Men have had these problems since the beginning of time, since forever, but nobody cares. As men, we're supposed to man up. Ladies, now you are getting a real taste of true equality. And it's ugly, isn't it? So this lady right here never followed the advice that her parents gave her. And that's why at 30 years old, she has to move back with her parents.
7 months ago, at the age of 31, I moved back in with my parents. And it was the best decision I could have ever made for myself. And I want to spend today telling you why. The biggest reason being financial. When I had first moved to Charlotte back in 2012, I had accumulated a lot of consumer debt. And I just could not seem to get
It's just like the theme of the story. Let me go to college. Let me try to go to LA, New York, try to make it, spend a lot of money, be in debt, and then come back home because you can, because you're women, and have my parents take care of me while I struggle for the rest of my life.
Financially straight, living on my own. So moving home allowed me to save a lot of money, pay off almost every single dollar that I accumulated in Charlotte on my consumer debt, and come up with a really good financial plan in order to never be upside down like this again. But when I tell you, I think this was by far one of the best decisions I could have made, because financially I was able to fully get back on my feet. Like my credit score has not been this high in at least 6 years.
No, sweetie, the biggest reason for moving back with your parents was not financial. Consumer debt is the only reason. And all the other excuses that you are throwing around are just a way to make yourself feel good about moving back with your parents. Because if it wasn't for financial reasons, would any of the ladies that we watched in this video have moved back with their parents?
Nope.
I don't think so.
That was some broke, dusty, musty, crusty chow. You know, it's funny that these women all complain that they want to be strong and independent, but, you know, financial issues came in the fray and they have to move back, but they don't get their independence anymore. Blah, blah, fucking blah. Please show them below. I really appreciate that.